You opened incognito mode. You felt safe. You were not. Right now, websites know more about you than most people in your life. Not because you did something wrong. Not because you clicked something suspicious. Because the internet was built this way. Quietly. On purpose. Stay with me. Because number 5 on this list will completely change how you think about your own browser. The researchers who discovered it could not believe what they found. This is not about scaring you. This is about understanding. And once you understand it, you can actually do something about it. Let's start with number 1. Number 1. The cookie on your computer. You have clicked accept cookies 1,000 times without thinking. A cookie is a tiny text file. A website drops it onto your device the moment you visit. Next time you come back, your browser hands that file back automatically. The website reads it and says, "Oh, it's you again. Welcome back." The Internet Engineering Task Force documented how cookies work back in 1997. The mechanism has not changed much since. So what does a cookie actually know about you? Everything from that last visit. What you clicked. How long you stayed. What you put in your cart. It is a small, quiet note your browser keeps passing back to the website every single visit. Clearing your cookies deletes those notes. It takes 30 seconds in any browser settings menu. Do it once a month and you start fresh every time. Number 2. Your IP address. You have probably heard this term. Most people assume it is complicated. It is not. Your IP address is just your home address for the internet. Every device connected to the internet gets one. Every website you visit sees it the moment your browser makes contact. No login required. No cookies needed. Just visiting is enough. The Internet Society has documented IP address logging as one of the oldest and most basic forms of web identification in existence. What does your IP address reveal? Not your exact home, but your city, your internet provider, and a general area. Combined with other data points, it becomes a powerful anchor for identifying you across different websites and different sessions. A VPN replaces your real IP address with a different one. It does not make you invisible, but it removes that anchor and makes tracking significantly harder. Number 3. Staying logged into Google. Think about how often you are logged into Google, Gmail, or YouTube in a background tab. Google has advertising code embedded on millions of websites across the internet. When you visit one of those sites, that code checks whether you are logged into Google. You are. So Google sees exactly which site you just visited, when and for how long. Princeton University's Web Transparency and Accountability Project found Google tracking scripts present on over 75% of the top 1 million websites. 75%. So what is actually happening as you browse? Every tab you open on a site that carries Google's code sends a quiet signal back. You are building a detailed profile without ever clicking an ad or filling in a form. Simply browsing does it for you. Log out of Google when you are not actively using it. That single habit cuts a significant amount of background tracking immediately. Number 4. The tracking pixel. You have never seen one. That is the whole point. A tracking pixel is an image. 1 pixel wide. 1 pixel tall. Completely invisible. It lives inside emails, articles, and web pages. The moment your device loads it, it phones home. It reports your IP address, the time, your device type, and what you were looking at. Researcher Francisca Rosner at the University of Washington published research showing tracking pixels embedded in email are now standard practice across marketing, news, and e-commerce industries. What does that mean every time you open an email? The sender knows you opened it. They know when. They know roughly where you were. They know what device you used. All of that from a single invisible image you never knew existed. Disabling automatic image loading in your email settings stops most pixels from firing. Most email apps have this option buried in their privacy or display settings. If nobody ever walked you through how this actually works under the surface, the real mechanisms, not the vague warnings, this is exactly what this channel does. Subscribe now, because the next video breaks down what your phone is listening for and when. That one is genuinely unsettling. Okay, number 5. Number 5. Your browser's fingerprint. I said this one would change how you see your own browser. Here it is. No cookies. No login. Nothing stored on your device. And a website can still identify you with startling accuracy. Here is how. Your browser has a specific version number. Your operating system has one too. You have a screen resolution, a time zone, a language setting, a list of fonts installed on your device, a set of browser plugins, A graphics card with its own rendering characteristics. Individually, none of those things identify you. Together they form a combination so specific it acts like a fingerprint. Researcher Peter Eckersley at the Electronic Frontier Foundation ran a landmark study called the Panopticlick Project. He tested hundreds of thousands of real browsers. He found that over 83% of them had a completely unique fingerprint. No cookies needed. No login needed. Just the combination of settings your browser already carries. So what does that mean when you open Incognito? Incognito clears your cookies and your local history. But it does not change your browser version. It does not change your screen resolution. It does not change your fonts or your time zone or your graphics card. Your fingerprint walks into Incognito with you. Every single time. A website that uses fingerprinting does not need to remember you. It just needs to read what is already there. And what is there is almost certainly unique to you, and only you. You can check your own fingerprint right now. Go to coverartracks.eff.org. The EFF built it specifically so people can see what their browser is broadcasting. Most people who check it cannot believe what they find. Using a common browser on default settings narrows your fingerprint. Firefox with default privacy settings and no extra plugins is one of the strongest choices available today. Number 6. How your screen gives you away. This one goes even deeper than regular fingerprinting. Websites can ask your browser to draw an invisible image. You never see it, but your graphics card renders that image in a way that is slightly unique to your specific hardware. The website reads how it was rendered and uses that as an identifier. Researchers at KU Leuven in Belgium published a study in 2014 finding canvas fingerprinting on over 5% of the top 100,000 websites. Many of them sites people visit every day. What does that mean for your privacy? Even if you changed every browser setting and cleared every cookie, the physical chip inside your device renders images in a way that belongs only to it. The hardware itself becomes the identifier. Brave browser blocks canvas fingerprinting by default. That makes it one of the strongest options for people who want this specific protection without any technical setup. Number 7. The cookie you cannot clear. You cleared your cookies. You are safe now, right? Not quite. Websites can store data in something called local storage or IndexedDB. These are storage spaces inside your browser that work like cookies, but sit in a different location. Clearing your cookies does not touch them. Most people never know they exist. Mozilla's developer documentation confirms that local storage persists independently of cookie deletion and survives most standard privacy cleaning tools. So what is actually sitting in your browser right now? Some websites use local storage to rebuild your identifier immediately after you clear your cookies. The moment you return, they read what is still sitting there and restore everything they knew about you. The clearing did nothing. In your browser settings, look for clear site data rather than just clear cookies. That option removes local storage too. It is a different button, and most people never find it. Number 8. How you move and type. This one is newer, and it is growing fast. Companies that specialize in fraud detection have discovered that the way you type is distinct. Your mouse movement speed is distinct. The rhythm of your keystrokes, the way you scroll, the angle of your touch on a phone screen. All of it forms a behavioral pattern that is difficult to fake. Research from BioCatch, a behavioral biometrics company, has shown these patterns can identify returning users with accuracy rates above 90%. Without any login. Without any stored data. What does that mean for you as a user? The moment you begin interacting with a site you have used before, your movements start matching a pattern they have already seen. Your behavior is the password you never chose and cannot change. There is no simple fix for this one. Awareness is the starting point. Knowing that this exists changes how you think about what browsing actually broadcasts. Number 9. I saved this for last, because it is the most misunderstood thing about internet privacy. Incognito mode. It is not a disguise. It is not a shield. It is not private browsing in the way most people picture private. Here is what Incognito actually does. It stops your own device from saving your history and cookies locally. That is it. That is the complete list. Your IP address is still visible to every site you visit. Your browser fingerprint travels with you unchanged. Google scripts still see you if you land on a site that carries them. Your internet provider still logs every request your device makes. The Federal Trade Commission issued guidance confirming that private browsing modes do not prevent third-party tracking. Google itself faced a $5 billion lawsuit in 2020 over what it tracked during Chrome Incognito sessions. The case settled in 2024. So who does Incognito actually protect you from? The person who picks up your device after you put it down. That is it. Your local history is clean. For everyone else on the internet, you are exactly as visible as always. The real version of Incognito is this: a VPN for your IP address, Firefox or Brave for your fingerprint, logged out of all Google and Meta accounts, site data cleared, not just cookies. That combination does what most people think Incognito does alone. Start with one of those, then add another. You do not have to do everything today. Take a second. Notice what you are feeling right now. If you feel a little unsettled, maybe even a little exposed, that is a completely reasonable response. Because nobody explained this to you when you first started using the internet. Nobody put it in plain language. You were handed a browser and told Incognito was private, and that was the end of it. The fact that you are watching this, asking how does this actually work, that is not a small thing. Most people never ask. The internet was not designed with your privacy as the priority. That is not a conspiracy. It is just the business model. Advertising pays for almost everything you use for free. And advertising runs on knowing who you are. But knowing how the system works changes your relationship with it. You can make different choices. You can use different tools. You can decide what you share and what you protect. If this gave you one thing you did not know this morning, share it with someone who browses in Incognito thinking they are invisible. Because the most powerful thing about understanding how technology works is this: you stop being a passive user and start being someone who actually knows what is happening on the other side of the screen.